everyone, welcome to Salesforce Curious. In previous video, I had explained fundamental concept of permission set, role, public group, profile. Today, let me quickly show you an example where user been assigned to profile, role, or permission set. So in setup, go to user. Here you will see all the user in your org. Let me quickly open a user. So here you can see roles profile in the right hand side over here. And permission set you can see at the top. So if you click this, you can see all the permission set. As of now, this user not been assigned to any permission set. But if you want to assign, then click edit assignment. You can choose any of the permission set and click this arrow. You can choose as many you want. You want to give access to those user. So now if we check here, this permission set showing. And role, this chief sales officer role has been assigned, and profile standard platform. Let me show you one thing also. So yeah, this red mark you can see. So this profile is mandatory, without which user won't be created. So this is one thing, but on other hand, permission set is optional. Yeah. So let's quickly start today's topic, that is OWD setting. But before that, let me quickly walk you through the basic difference between object level access and record level access. So we are starting object level access and record level access. First, let me explain what is object level access. So it basically determines the baseline level of access for all records in an object. We can prevent a user from viewing, creating, editing, or deleting any instance of a particular object type. We specify object level access inside permission set or profile. So basically in object level access, you control how objects being editable or not, how objects being seen inside your Salesforce or by whom, by which user it will be accessible. Whereas record level access determine which record user can view or edit in each object they have access to from their profile. So object level access we understood given by profile and permission set. But record level access is another level of security imposed by Salesforce. So the owner of record has full access to their record, but how their record, which is not owned by a particular user. So how they can access those records, that we will be seeing in a couple of minutes. So the owner has full access, and user at a particular role can access records owned or shared by user below him in the role hierarchy. That also we have understood in our previous video. So OWD setting stands for organization wide default setting. So basically this is the setting by which we control how the records will be shown, editable, or shared among the users inside Salesforce. So we use OWD to lock down data to the most restricted level, and then we use roles, sharing rules, manual sharing, or epic sharing to open up the access as and when required. Okay, and it specifies the default level of access that a user have to each other records. The records which is not owned by a user, but a record which is shared by them, or the record created by other user. So how those can be accessible determines by the OWD setting defined for a particular records. So it can never grant access more than what user have via profile or permission set. So if a profile do not have access for a particular object, so it can never grant, OWD setting can never grant more access to that particular record, because at object level itself, user is not allowed to view. OWD settings, what we have understood, controls the record level access, whereas profile and permissions that we use to control object level access, right? Inside OWD setting, we have three fundamental concepts having private, public read only, or public read write. So there is three sharing model we can define by which or record level access would be defined. So how we gonna judge that private would be given or public read only is the right choice or public read right? So an admin checks whenever requirement comes for a particular object access or particular record access, then a admin decides, is there ever going to be an instance of this particular object that any user shouldn't be allowed to view? Means that is the most restrictive way that a particular instance, that is instance nothing but a record. So if any chance, by any chance, there gonna be a record which any user, particular user not allowed to see. If yes, then sharing model for that particular will be private. But if no, means everyone can see that record, everyone should be allowed to see those instances of an object. Then we will ask another question, that is there ever going to be an instance of this object that any user shouldn't be allowed to edit? If yes, then sharing mode will be public read only because user would be allowed to see, but user would not be allowed to edit each other's record. Okay. But if no, means user can edit anyone's record, then sharing model would be public read write. Okay. So let's quickly recap what we have understood. So by these, we have understood that the most restricted level is private, and then public read only, and then public read write. So these three are sharing model defined by Salesforce for your record accesses. So let's quickly walk through these three once again. So by defining sharing model as a private, only the record owner and user above him in the role hierarchy can view or edit or make report on those records. And if we make sharing model as public read only, then all the user can view. There is no problem. And all the user can report on those records, but only the record owner and user above him in the role hierarchy can edit on those records because sharing model is public read only. And if we are defining it as public read, right, then all user in the org can view or edit or make reports. So, previous slide, we have understood that the two restricted level of OWD setting is private and public read only. So, what if an object is defined as private and public read only? So, how those record can be accessible by other user who is not the owner of that particular record? So, when or by sharing setting for an object is private or public read only, then an admin can grant user access to those records by by defining sharing rule or by manual sharing. So, in this pyramid also, you can understand that org by default is the restriction, but we can open up the access to those records by role hierarchy, sharing rule, or manual sharing. That's all for today. We have understood the basic difference between record level access and object level access. We have understood how profiles and permission set determines the object level access and how OWD setting determine the record level access. And we have understood the sharing models inside OWD setting. And we have understood the criteria on which we can define the records as OWD setting as private or public read only or public read, right? And what if the restriction level is private and public read only? Then how we gonna share those among all those users who do not have direct access to the records? That's all for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Mhm. Thank you. Thanks.